bow, 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 bow. Bow, 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 bow. Where the air horn at? Come on, let's go.
When you think of SpongeBob SquarePants, you probably picture a cheerful sponge flipping Krabby Patties and a pineapple under the sea. I mean, look at Bobby, dude. For millions of us, it defined our childhood.
Bro, he was gooning. Whoa. This nigga was watching. What was he watching?
See, I mean.
Why was my nigga SpongeBob gooning so fast into these clips, bro? Look how he staring at the screen. You see a nigga like this? A nigga with his eyes so big while he gooning? Oh, hell. He freaked out all the way. Chat, what's going on with SpongeBob?
Look at Bobby, dude. For millions of us, it defined our childhood, goofy, colorful, and endlessly stupid. But if you look a little closer, SpongeBob actually holds some pretty dark secrets. SpongeBob wasn't created by a TV executive chasing sales.
I think the best thing about this show is that it was that. You know what I'm saying? We ain't never had to go through nothing but that. You feel me? It's just been just nigga SpongeBob. Niggas ain't touched SpongeBob to ruin SpongeBob. SpongeBob been SpongeBob. You feel me? That's all I'm saying. Nigga hard.
It was born from the imagination of Steven Hillenburg, a marine biologist turned animator. He combined his love of ocean life with surreal comedy, and somehow Nickelodeon let him run wild with this. The result was a cartoon that felt unlike anything else seen on TV. Weird animation, abstract humor, and characters that embody human flaws. And yet, hidden in those first few seasons was something a whole lot more unsettling. Episodes like Pizza Delivery or Rock Bottom weren't just funny, they were strange, even uncomfortable. A sponge stranded in a bizarre alien town, a squid driven to misery by a job he hates, and a crab so greedy that he sells out his friends. From the very beginning, SpongeBob wasn't just silly, it was surreal and sometimes haunting. Of all the episodes in SpongeBob's earlier seasons, few are as haunting or as strangely iconic as Rock Bottom. I mean, this episode is fucking weird. The premise is pretty simple. I mean, SpongeBob takes the wrong bus home from after a day at Glove World. He gets a normal ride back to Bikini Bottom, but instead he ends up in Rock Bottom. Now, something that immediately strikes me as different about this episode is the way that it opens. I mean, usually Bobby's in his house, okay? Like, if it opens with SpongeBob, Bobby in the crib most of the time. You never really see an episode where SpongeBob isn't at his house or in Bikini Bottom when it opens. And I know Glove World is in Bikini Bottom, don't get technical with me here, but like, I can't really think of another episode that opens at Glove World. Okay, there might be one. It'll be on the screen right now if there is one, but that's just, immediately it just sets like a kind of different tone. But anyway, moving on, the descent into...
These niggas is geniuses, okay? Because of that, because they know how comfortable we are with this nigga, they gonna give us something else. They gonna say, fuck this. We gonna show y'all SpongeBob could be anywhere. Cause when he is in the crib, I love them episodes. Or Krusty Krab, you feel what I'm saying? The same settings, but nigga, these niggas, they just had budget too. Like, look at this shit they doing, bro. Like, this shit hard.
The Rock Bottom itself is actually pretty unsettling. The bus dives deeper and deeper, and the light disappears until SpongeBob is completely encapsulated by darkness. Even as kids, we felt it. This wasn't the colorful, friendly Bikini Bottom we were all used to. This was uncharted territory, and Bobby was all alone. When SpongeBob steps off the bus, we're dropped into one of the weirdest, most surreal environments ever put on Nickelodeon. The residents of Rock Bottom are grotesque compared to the round, bubbly designs of regular SpongeBob characters, and they speak in a weird, bizarre language, a language that SpongeBob can't even begin to understand. Everything about Rock Bottom just feels wrong. The architecture is jagged, tilted, and angular, a visual language meant to make us feel uncomfortable. Even the background music is minimal, eerie, more like the score of a horror cartoon than a comedy. And off-rip, Patrick just sells immediately and gets on the bus and just leaves SpongeBob there, so now...
Bro, Patrick's such a hoe-ass nigga, bro. Why he do that to my nigga, bro? Nigga's in a different town, nigga, fucked up shit going on, and he over here confused.
he's extra alone. And what follows is probably one of the most iconic scenes from SpongeBob. He's waiting in line to get a bus ticket, and the guy behind the counter just doesn't speak Bobby language.
I can't understand your accent.
Next bus to Bikini Bottom.
Oh, why didn't you say so?
Eventually, he does make it back to Bikini Bottom and the episode ends, but there's a whole lot more we gotta unpack with this. Over the years, fans have given Rock Bottom countless interpretations. Some see it as a metaphor for alienation, being lost in a culture or a place you don't understand. Others see it as social anxiety, the way everyday challenges become overwhelming when you feel isolated. There's even an argument that Rock Bottom taps into something deeply human, the fear of not belonging anywhere. SpongeBob, normally the heart of Bikini Bottom, is suddenly out of place and no one recognizes him, no one cares, and no one helps him. But I think the real reason why this episode was so weird as a kid is because it taps into a universal childhood fear, being lost. Whether it's losing your parents at the grocery store or missing the right school bus, the sense of panic burns itself into your memory, and Rock Bottom visualizes that fear perfectly. The wrong bus, the wrong...
I would have been so mad. Y'all know I've been taking the bus recently. For those of y'all that don't know, my car broke and shit. Nigga, if I go across the street to go pick something up or something and the bus leave just that, like that, right when I'm by it, that literally happened to me the other day and I almost crashed out. I was like, fuck the bus driver. But like, I know it's not on them, but I really was doing this shit. Like, please, niggas be some hoes.
Stop, and suddenly you're trapped in a nightmare world with no escape. And yet, for all its darkness, Rock Bottom is hilarious. The humor comes from how absurd the situation becomes. The endless cycle of missed buses and weird languages and just all-around strange atmosphere makes this probably my favorite episode. And I know some people are going to be like, Rock Bottom cannot be your favorite episode. It's not even in Bikini Bottom. It doesn't have the regular cast of characters. Okay. Well, it's up there. It's up there. It's one of them. This is my top 3 Bobby episodes, dude. How about that? Graveyard Shift is probably the closest SpongeBob ever got to outright horror. The episode begins with something we've all dreaded, working the late night shift. The Krabby Patty? Dude, goddamn. The Krusty Krab is empty, the lights are dim, and the silence makes every sound echo. It doesn't take long for Squidward to exploit SpongeBob's overactive imagination by inventing a ghost story, the hash-slinging slasher. The details are ridiculous.
Hey, this is like actually a favorite, one of the the favorite SpongeBob episodes of mine, the hash-slinging slasher. Too fucking funny, bro, because that nigga is a real nigga, bro. He not a real nigga, but nigga, hash-slinging slasher, bro, like, the name is just hash-slinging slasher. You like, niggas gonna remember that forever, I swear to God.
Spatula hands, flickering lights, mysterious phone calls, but that's what makes it scarier. Kids recognize the feeling of hearing a campfire story where the more absurd it is, the more your brain fills in the gaps. Visually, the episode uses horror tropes, harsh shadows, empty hallways, extreme close-ups. It's a parody, but it's also genuinely creepy at times, and like...
Bro, this nigga Mr.Krabs is so fucking greedy. Open Forever is ridiculous as fuck.
Like Rock Bottom, it's about fear of the unknown. SpongeBob doesn't know if he's in danger, but his imagination convinces himself that he is. And the twist ending, the so-called slasher just being a goofy fry cook, it's classic SpongeBob absurdism, but the real legacy of Graveyard Shift is how it cemented SpongeBob's ability to flirt with true horror while still staying accessible to kids. To this day, it's one of the most beloved episodes and proof that SpongeBob wasn't afraid to go dark. Like, what the fuck was this Nosferatu shit? This used to scare me so much as a kid. I remember tweaking when I saw that. There's just something about the atmosphere of this episode, like when SpongeBob goes to take the trash out, it's just so eerie and surreal. It kind of reminds me of Rock Bottom in the sense that it's just very uncomfortable, but it's such a good...
This nigga Squidward a fool, bro. How you gonna make a character and then be scared of the character you made? Fuck is he talking about, bro? This nigga a top fool.
Good episode, dude. It's such a good episode. But both of these episodes pale in comparison to the darkness of Nasty Patty. Where Rock Bottom leaned into surrealism and Graveyard Shift leaned into horror, Nasty Patty is SpongeBob at its darkest morally. The plot is simple. A health inspector arrives at the Krusty Krab, but Krabs and SpongeBob mistake him for a fraud. Their solution? Make the most revolting Krabby Patty imaginable and feed it to him. And when the inspector accidentally chokes and collapses, the two assume that they killed him. What follows is straight out of a dark comedy. SpongeBob and Krabs panic and hide the body and spiral deeper into guilt and paranoia. For a children's show, this is incredibly bold. It's essentially a parody of murder cover-up stories, complete with stormy weather, grave digging, and frantic dialogue. This episode is so iconic, and to this day, I still quote it whenever I get in a car with someone that's nauseous. If you don't remember in the episode...
Bro, this nigga really keep fucking... Bro, he's making me so... Say it, bro. Say that real quick.
Patrick is, let me get in the camera and say this.
Let me zoom out real quick.
I mean to get this off my chest, nigga. SpongeBob and Patrick were bisexual lesbians.
Hey, no, because are you talking about that one episode?
Where my nigga had the fishnets?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That nigga,
That was crazy.
Nigga, I knew from that point on,
That
I'm
was
like, this shit a
crazy.
little
That nigga
strange,
did have
nigga.
that on.
And I think
And I watched
Gary
that
was
episode
gay.
and I thought it was cool.
Nigga, I think Gary is gay. Cause you remember that episode when the nigga was trying to get a female snail?
Mm-hmm.
The shit didn't work out cause the nigga was like, the nigga didn't want the snail no more, bro. He was like, nah. I was like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, but he had a male best friend snail, nigga. I was like, bro, you not finna go get no snail.
episode, when SpongeBob's digging up the body and the cops pull up, they give him a ride back to the Krusty Krab, and the guy cop is like, it's alright, I'll drive nice and slow like, and then he just fucking second gear pull. I'm sorry, but I still quote that. The brilliance of Nasty Patty is that it works on two levels: slapstick absurdity for kids and a dark comedy for adults who'd recognize the parody of crime dramas. It's unsettling, it's grotesque, and it's an unforgettable episode. But there's one episode that we haven't talked about that I believe to be the absolute darkest SpongeBob episode ever. And yes, of course, I'm talking about SB-129. It begins with a mundane frustration. Squidward just wants peace and quiet to play his clarinet away from SpongeBob and Patrick's chaos, and in a desperate attempt to escape, he hides inside the Krusty Krab's freezer. But when the door locks behind him, he unknowingly sets the stage for a nightmare. When Squidward finally emerges, hundreds of years have passed. His world, the world of SpongeBob and Patrick, is gone. At first, the future seems impressive. Sleek buildings, chrome landscapes, advanced technology, but it quickly becomes unsettling. The SpongeBob and Patrick of this future are reduced to robots, mechanical shells stripped of personality. For Squidward, who already feels alienated in the present, this is confirmation of his worst fears, that time will march on and his art, his music, and his very identity will vanish into irrelevance. The future may be shiny, but it's empty. Desperately, Squidward tries to travel back into the past, but what he finds is no better. Primitive SpongeBob and Patrick can't understand him, can't share his interests, and can't provide any connection. If the future represented sterile progress, the past represents meaningless simplicity. For Squidward, neither offers him a place to who already feels unknowingly sets the stage for an episode ever. And yes, of course, I'm talking about SB-129. It begins with a mundane frustration. Squidward just wants peace and quiet to play his clarinet away from SpongeBob and Patrick's chaos.
This is a great fucking episode, okay? This is a great fucking episode. Let me tell y'all that.
And in a desperate attempt to escape, he hides inside the Krusty Krab's freezer. But when the door locks behind him, he unknowingly sets the stage for a nightmare. When Squidward finally emerges, hundreds of years have passed. His world, the world of SpongeBob and Patrick, is gone. At first, the future seems impressive. Sleek buildings, chrome landscapes, advanced technology, but it quickly becomes unsettling. The SpongeBob and Patrick of this future are reduced to robots, mechanical shells stripped of personality. For Squidward, who already feels alienated in the present, this is confirmation of his worst fears, that time will march on and his art, his music, and his very identity will vanish into irrelevance. The future may be shiny, but it's empty. Desperately, Squidward tries to travel back into the past, but what he finds is no better. Primitive SpongeBob and Patrick can't understand him, can't share his interests, and can't provide any connection. If the future represented sterile progress, the past represents meaningless simplicity. For Squidward, neither offers him a place to belong. He's trapped between errors, without community and without a purpose. And then comes the most chilling sequence in SpongeBob history, the Nowhere Dimension. Squidward steps through time one last time and lands in an endless white void. There are no landmarks, no sound, no life, just Squidward echoing against infinity. For children, this scene was confusing, but for adults, it's absolutely terrifying. An encounter with pure nothingness, a vision of death or eternal isolation. Squidward, who has always longed for solitude, is finally given it in absolute form, and it breaks him. The longer he spends there, the more unhinged he becomes. His cries echo into emptiness, and his very identity begins to dissolve. It's cosmic horror hidden inside a Nickelodeon cartoon. But on a deeper level, SB-129 is a meditation on loneliness. Squidward begins the episode desperate for peace, and when he finally achieves it, it absolutely destroys him mentally. The episode suggests that what Squidward really needs isn't solitude, but connection. As much as he resents SpongeBob and Patrick, they're part of the fabric of his life. Without them, without community, without...
This is an A1 episode again. These niggas was cooking for a long time, okay? Cause I forgot about this shit. Niggas was in their bag though.
Without chaos and without joy, he's left with nothing. There's also an existential interpretation. Squidward's journey through time mirrors our own struggle with meaning. The past is gone.
You can literally see the craziness in this nigga face, bro. This is real shit.
The future is unknowable, and the void is always waiting. All we have is the present, imperfect and annoying as it might be. SB-129 has become a cult favorite among fans, especially for its surreal visuals and that unforgettable white void. It's a rare moment when children's cartoon brushes against cosmic horror, absurdism, and even philosophy. It asks questions far bigger than its runtime. What does it mean to belong? What is time? What happens when we are truly alone? And in the end, SB-129 reminds us of something simple. Maybe the present, with all its noise and imperfections, is the only place we can truly feel alive. And honestly, I feel like that's why SpongeBob has endured all this time. I mean, it was never really just a kid's cartoon, it was a mirror. When we were kids, we saw joy and silliness, and as adults, we see struggle, despair, and the darker truths hidden beneath the surface. SpongeBob grew with us, or maybe we grew into it. The pineapple under the sea was never perfect, but that's exactly why it will never be forgotten. Thank you guys so much for watching. It would mean the world to me if you could like the video.
She say you so true, baby girl, I already know. How did this shit when I'm on? It damage what I know. Mixing the drink make a potion. It might just put me on the floor. Mixing the drink with Patron. Can't do this shit on my own. Looking to change my tone. What you gonna do when I leave and I'm gone?